What do you mean by that? Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, I think everybody knows that the party has been subject to a lot of infighting. There have been individuals within the party and, if you like, little cliques within the party that have been busy beavering away, raising their own profile, trying to do their own thing, and not necessarily working towards the unity and the cohesion of the party.
Is that the NEC there, or are you talking about other people?
I'm talking about other people.
Okay.
And it's time that they actually started to recognise that they're disrupting the party.
Right.
What they actually need to do is be part of the team and work towards the betterment of the party, not try to undermine it in any way.
Okay. Well, look, we've had quite a few questions. Thanks a lot, guys, for your questions. I'm going to rattle through as many as I can, and please do comment with them if you have your own. Seaboy on Twitter, interesting name, saying, "Do you feel like a dead man walking?"
No, not particularly.
No?
I'm pretty knackered, but I certainly don't feel dead. No.
So you feel like you're going to power on through, or do you feel like there's a lot of questions?
A lot of me still, yeah.
Obviously, a lot of controversy sort of hanging over your position.
Yeah.
Are you confident about the EGM that you're going to power on through?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. Yeah. The members voted me in. It's for the members constitutionally to decide that they don't want me as leader any longer, and I'm actually pretty confident that most of the leadership, most of the membership do actually recognise the need to continue with the agenda of reform without disrupting it, and that we've actually got to get on with the job of preparing for local government elections and delivering our message on the European Union and leaving the European Union. So those have got to be the priorities, surely.
Okay, well, Paul Oakley asked on Twitter, and thank you very much for your comment there. Again, anyone that wants to ask comments, dive in. We're going to get through as many as we can here. Paul Oakley saying, "You were elected 4 months ago, Henry. Where are your draft new party rules and constitution? Has the dog eaten them?" Where are they?
I don't have a dog. No, drafting has started now. But of course, you don't just plunge into a new job and just try to sweep everything clean. You've got to understand all being the leader of a political party, you are exposed to, or you start to see the inner workings in a way that most people in the party don't see. And you've got to understand that, and you've got to navigate your way through it before you can, and identify the problems before you can solve them. Now, there's no point in just jumping in with some kind of template answer just to demonstrate that you're active. You've got to get that right, particularly with something like a constitution. So, that's what's going to be done, and that's what I'm going to be doing in the next few weeks.
Darryl on Facebook with a comment, "We can have reform without you as a leader." How do you answer that?
Well,
why are you the best man to lead this reform? Why are you the man that people that support UKIP should believe in?
There's been no reform for a very long time. So if other people could do it, well, my question is, why didn't they? Why has it not been done? And there was some work done on a revised constitution, but it didn't go very far, and certainly hasn't pushed through. So, I'm determined to push this through. I will put proposals to the membership. That will be disseminated in the next few weeks to the members. It's up to the members to decide what they want, but I'll put a concrete proposal on there, which is the basis for discussion or decision, and then we'll go from there.
Can you tell us anything specifically? You talk about these changes, you talk about draining. Can you give us anything specifically that you're going to put forward to the members to change the party and reform?
No, I'll wait until the draft goes out.
Okay, so you're keeping your powder dry for now.
Absolutely.
Okay, fine. Guys, keep your comments rolling in. Graham Ball made an interesting comment on Facebook earlier. Thanks very much for your comment there, Graham. He said, having just listened to his interview on Sky News earlier, see the EGM through. Now, can you, in terms of this EGM, how do you see it? Are you going to go there and make a speech and it's a one-person majority vote, effectively? Because that's as I understand it.
It's exactly it.
So this is going to be high drama. As many members as want to go can go.
Well, there has to be a quorum of 250, so there has to be a minimum of 250 people there.
Right.
There can be more. We could have the whole membership there.
Do you know what it's going to be?
Where?
Yeah.
At the moment, there's a question mark as to exactly where it's going to be, but it's probably going to be on the 17th of February.
17th of February.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you're proposing there to basically unveil your plan?
No. That'll happen before that.
Okay.
And effectively, all that can happen at the EGM. The only item on the agenda at the EGM is a vote as to whether or not to endorse the NEC and their decision or not.
Okay. Well, look, we've got lots more comments rolling in now. Jane, how do you intend to drain the swamp? A new NEC was voted for last year, where the opportunity was there to get rid of any dead wood. So, I mean, do you still... in terms of the NEC, do you think the whole thing needs to go? Is you going to have a completely new structure?
Well, I think the purpose of the NEC is the governing body of the party, but it provides oversight and accountability. But it's also the executive. And so you've got the oversight and accountability combined with the executive. That is a conflict. That is an absolute conflict. And that needs to be resolved. I would like to see the NEC, and this is not necessarily how the proposal will evolve, but at the moment, the direction of travel that I'm going towards is the NEC should be effectively a board of trustees, still with the Treasurer, or still with the Secretary and so on, so we fulfil the Electoral Commission regulations and the law in that respect, but it provides oversight and accountability. We have a fully professional executive, functional headquarters with the human resources, the finance and so on, all there, purely professional, purely functional, and then we have the political side under the leader, but the Board of Trustees over the top. And ideally, I think at the moment that Board of Trustees should be elected by the regions, so regional representation on the board, and they should elect their own chair.
Ben Forrest on Twitter, and guys, keep your comments from room 3, but this is one we got on Twitter earlier from Ben Forrest. He says, Henry, the £35 membership fee has driven away half of our branch members. The excuse that this costs £27 in admin per member is a nonsense. How are we supposed to get them back now after all of this negativity? And that's what a lot of people are saying, Henry. Yep. They're saying, look, there's a lot of negative media attention here. You've obviously got elections in May, let's not forget. Yep. A lot of people on the doorstep now, they're seeing this negativity, they're seeing this controversy. What is your message to people, to UKIP voters, to members, that you are now the man? You are the man that's going to be here for the long term and that's going to project that Brexit message that the country needs. Right.
Well, there's two questions wrapped up in that. One is about the subscription fees. And it was a unanimous decision by the NEC to raise the subscription fees. Unanimous decision. Now, it wasn't an arbitrary decision on my part.
So who was that decision by?
The whole of the NEC voted on it, and the whole of the NEC agreed to the increase. Okay. Now, the reason for that is because our finances have been running in a deficit continually for the last year of over £30,000 a month. And so we've had to address that. We've got to address that by making savings, reducing costs, but also by maximising income. And that's not just something that we wanted to do, it's also something that the donors wanted to see us do. Now, frankly, in the past, and the NEC is responsible for the overseeing the finances of the party, and they've allowed this situation to continue. It has to be addressed, because otherwise the party is going to go bankrupt. So we've got now there is an issue, of course. It's unpredictable quite how much of an impact this will have on membership. So we've got to keep a very close eye on it. But the second thing,
of the negativity.
But the second thing, and the negativity of the media, as Nigel has said, actually this is raising the profile of UKIP quite significantly. Now, at the moment, this is not the publicity that I would want to see, and perhaps many people in the party. But you will have seen, for example, on Sunday, I was getting a lot of messaging about how there's an absolute need on the back of this. I was turning it to our advantage and saying, there's a great need to unify and coordinate all of the Leave campaigns so we mobilise and get out there to counter the government, which is continually slipping on delivering independence.
If I'm the man on the street now, and I'm looking at the elections coming up in May, okay, fine, you're high profile, you're in the news and stuff. But what is the actual message? Why should people vote UKIP in May, in terms of the bigger picture, in terms of, well, you're irrelevant now, aren't you? You've got the Conservatives and Labour. Why would someone go and vote UKIP?
One of the things that a piece of work that was just kicking off, when the NEC decided to say that it was going to have a vote of no confidence, was the work on planning for the local government elections. And this has actually disrupted it. The NEC decision to go down this route already disrupting our preparations for that. Now,
but what is your message to voters?
The plan here is that I set up a working group specifically to start designing the messaging that we were going to put out from the national level. And my vision there is that we'll have a couple of party political broadcasts. We will have a national manifesto to support, to provide the backdrop, if you like, for the local manifestos at each local government area. For example, in Alveston Ward in Derby, when I was up there was only one single thing that everybody was interested in, and it was the permission that had been granted by the local authority to build an 8-storey block of flats. Everybody in that ward is passionately against it, and the local councillors up there are doing a great job in trying to fight it. But that is something that we can't account for at the national level. But what we can do at the national level is talk about what we want to do to reform planning regulations.
Okay. Well, look,
so that provides the mood.
Rob Pearson on Facebook, keep your comments coming in, guys. I'll get through as many as I can. With all of the internal party drama, isn't UKIP simply failing to hold the government to account on a clean Brexit? That's from Rob Pearson. Isn't there something to be said that all of this controversy, all of this infighting, we've seen it so many times in UKIP, so much internal wrangling, so much just internal conversation and infighting. Are you not letting down Is the party not now letting down people, Brexiteers, that really want massive pressure applied to make sure they get the kind of Brexit? When are we going to start seeing
I would
that?
absolutely say that the party is letting its members down in that respect.
And you have to take responsibility as leader?
Yeah, that's why I want to reform it. That's why I want to turn it round. That's why I want to create unity and cohesion in the party. At the moment, one of the biggest obstacles to getting things moving is the fact that everybody's pulling in a different direction. They shouldn't be able to do that, not without being brought to account for it.
But will that give you time, with all of this, with the EGM and things like that? Let's say you get through the EGM, so let's say your reforms getting put in place. In terms of the elections, are you actually going to have any time? Are you planning to actually make any political interventions, or is it all just going to be internal UKIP influence?
When I went to the NEC, I laid out all of the challenges that would be brought about by going down the route of a vote of no confidence. In there I talked about the disruption to the planning for local government elections. In there I talked about the financial cost. In there I talked about the political cost of going through yet another leadership election. I made it very clear to the NEC that it would be their decision to take on those challenges. Now I advised very strongly against it. The NEC nonetheless decided that they would conduct a vote of no confidence, and they are the ones who unanimously have put the party to this set of risks. And indeed, I would say that is not the only decision that the NEC has made that has exposed this party to financial and political risk up to date.
Guys, keep your comments coming thick and fast, and if this is your first time with Westminster, do give us a thumbs up on this video, do like our Facebook page. We've got a lot of things to come, very, very exciting, later this month, early next month. We like doing these streams, interactive, direct, keep them coming. Just Hazel saying fight on, Bolton, Hazel Gorman there. You obviously have got some support. How do you, are you going to see this through? Is the pressure going to become too much? Are you the man? Are you going to see this through now to the EGM?
Yeah,
is there any possibility that you're going to get all this criticism and that you're going to bow out?
The situation would have to change dramatically for me to bow out.
Okay.
I mean, I'm following the constitutional process. It's very clear. It's very clearly laid out. If there's a vote of no confidence passed by the NEC, then it goes to an EGM. And that's the constitutional process. I respect that. That's what we're doing.
Just a couple of people saying, in terms of UKIP now, you've seen, in terms of the Brexit debate, there's a sense that is the party now irrelevant? I'd just like to go back to that. I think it's very, very important. If I'm your man on the street now, I'm looking at who to vote for. I'm seeing the Brexit debate. I'm seeing everything going on, let's say, with Calais, with Theresa May giving Macron 45 million quid, with a Brexit bill of tens of billions, with open borders going on probably until 2021 at least. Where does UKIP now fit into that debate? Because we don't seem to be hearing anything.
Well, no, I mean, for example, that would be covered by our immigration spokesman, but our immigration spokesman has decided to make an internal political point by standing down. What I've said to everybody who's resigned recently is, you know what, by all means, call for my resignation. That's fine, okay? But you are there to do a job. Please deliver on that job. I don't think it's helpful at all to stand down from that job. Now, I'm doing this. If I stand down, we are going to go through 3 to 5 months, probably nearer 5 months, of disruption to the party caused by the election, the leadership contest. So we've got to stand by our jobs. We've got to carry on managing and running the party.
We just got to wrap up. Thank you very much for everyone. I just want one more thing. If you could just say down the camera, but anyone that's watching, anyone that's fearing, the future of UKIP, that's not sure now, is wavering, what is your message to them?
My message to you is go for stability. Do not go down the route of deciding that you want another leadership contest. Do not go down the route of the expense that's going to cause. Do not go down the route of the timelines that's going to cause. So leadership election, you've got NEC elections coming up, which have been postponed by decision of the NEC, but now brought forward to February. You've then got the local government elections. This is too much for this party to take on. If you decide to take that on, then I'm fearful that the party will not be able to meet all those challenges. That we need stability, and I would say we need unity. If you want to take on a new leadership challenge, competition, go ahead. But believe me, there are going to be implications, and I don't think that the party is going to survive those implications.
Guys, if you enjoyed this video, do give us a thumbs up. Plenty more to come from Westminster.
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.